All right, ready? Welcome back from yesterday afternoon. Today we do have significant updates that Sheriff Gaylor would like to bring to you. I'm Christy Hopkins. I'm the Director of Media and Public Relations for the Harford County Sheriff's Office, and with me I have Sheriff Jeffrey R. Gaylor, Harford County State's Attorney Allison Healy, from Maryland State Police, First Sergeant Joe Wargo, from Bel Air Police Department, Lieutenant Rob Farr, from Aberdeen Police Department, Lieutenant Tomlinson, from Haverty Grace Police Department, Major Joe Alton and Captain Ken Terry, and representing the Harford County Deputy Sheriff's Union, the President Jerry Eaton and the Vice President Robert Kovacs. And with that, I will turn it over to Sheriff Gaylor.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for your patience. Also up here in the front, we have Major Jack Simpson and Captain Andy Lane, who oversee our criminal investigations here at the Harford County Sheriff's Office. To begin this morning, I want to thank everyone, the media, our community, for their continued messages of care and concern for Lieutenant Robert Burgess, our deputy who was injured on yesterday's event on 95 while attempting to stop a fleeing criminal who was endangering the lives of other drivers and citizens. Last night, I visited with Lieutenant Burgess at University Hospital, where he was under the care of Dr. Scalia and the staff at the Shock Trauma Center. I had the opportunity to talk to the lieutenant and share with him many of our community's thoughts, prayers, and comments, him and his family, and wishes for a speedy and full recovery. As I said yesterday, he understands it, and we all understand it very clearly. He is very lucky to be alive, and he's going to have a very long road to recovery, but I'm encouraged by his good spirits, his family support around him, all things considered. I'm also appreciative of our Deputy Sheriff's Union, Jerry Eaton, the President, and Robert Kovacs, the Vice President, are with us this morning. They are delivering a check to the family of Lieutenant Burgess later today to help them with all necessary expenses that arise unexpectedly when an incident like this occurs from the Deputy Sheriff's Union Benevolent Fund. Yesterday, I made the announcement. I told you all that we would find the person that was responsible for this. I had faith in our detectives and the men and women of the Harford County Sheriff's Office and our allied partners, and that we would not leave any stone unturned until we located this suspect or suspects. It is now a suspect. And I'm proud of the work that are by our agency members and, again, our allied partners to deliver on this promise in less than 24 hours. Around 10:43 last night, 10:45, I received word that the suspect in this case had been identified, positively identified, and confirmed with matching fingerprints recovered from the suspect vehicle, the Penske truck. In addition, the charges have been filed and the arrest warrant was issued. We made contact with our partners in New York State, because that's where the suspect resides, where we believe the suspect to be staying, and the U.S. Marshal Service assisted or partnering with our warrant apprehension unit here at the Sheriff's Office, began immediate surveillance and attempts to locate the suspect. Working throughout the night, the suspect was confirmed to be inside an apartment in New Rochelle, New York. And again, with the assistance of the marshals, our suspect was taken into custody this morning, shortly before 8 a.m. In that apartment with no use of force. He's been identified, his picture will be coming up on the screen. He's been identified as Juan Yahir Carroza Mansueta. It's the best I can do with the pronunciation. He's a 21-year-old male with an address in Yonkers, New York. He has been charged with attempted second-degree murder, assault first degree, assault second degree on a law enforcement officer, and we are awaiting his extradition back to Maryland, where he will be tried by our state's attorney, Allison Healy, for this heinous act of that injured our deputy and the crimes associated with it. Additionally, today, I want to walk through a little bit of yesterday, just as a review. And yesterday, about 11:25 a.m., Lieutenant Robert Burgess, assigned to our Community Policing Division, observed a Penske rental truck driving erratically and attempted to initiate a traffic stop on Calvary Road near Snake Lane, 136 near Snake Lane. It's important to note at this time, Lieutenant Burgess did not know why the driver was driving in such a dangerous manner, but obviously a manner that was going to endanger the lives of citizens, and tried to conduct a traffic stop. He did not know about the underlying involvement in theft. The driver failed to stop and immediately fled. While fleeing the traffic stop, he was involved in 2 additional crashes, one with a mail truck at 136 and Shucks, and the second one on Carson's Run at Route 22 with a passenger vehicle. He continued at a high rate of speed after that second accident. In those 2 accidents, there was no civilian injury. There were no injuries reported whatsoever. We're very thankful for that. But it was clear from reviewing, we have hundreds of cameras that we're reviewing, but from reviewing what we have seen so far, it's clear that he was operating this vehicle in such a manner as to pose a significant threat to human life and our community. The driver entered I-95 at about 11:45, where he continued to drive erratically in northbound and southbound lanes. Lieutenant Burgess observed the vehicle, and while he was outside his vehicle attempting to do stop sticks, he was intentionally struck by the driver of the truck. In doing this, he also, the driver, the suspect, maneuvered through traffic, striking a tractor trailer and another vehicle intentionally before hitting Lieutenant Burgess. All these, we used the word crash, we used the word accident. These were intentional acts by a criminal attempting to elude arrest. And there will be charges on each one of these assaults. Again, to clarify any confusion, when he began the pursuit, although he began the pursuit as it wrapped around the county, Lieutenant Burgess was no longer the leading pursuing vehicle, and at one point on 95, he was out with our partners from the state police attempting to deploy stop sticks when he was struck. The vehicle continued southbound, crossing over into the northbound lanes. Once there was an opportunity, one of our deputies, recently trained in pursuit intervention techniques, or as it's commonly referred to, pit maneuvers, was able to successfully terminate the pursuit, again on the northbound lanes of 95 near the Maryland House. After a perimeter was established very quickly, our deputies approached the vehicle, and that's where we discovered he had fled. We haven't caught it on camera that we've seen yet, but somewhere along being the pit being initiated and the truck going down over the hill, he departed the vehicle and escaped on foot, was able to elude the perimeter, even though I said it was quickly established. It was at this time, after the pursuit was terminated and the truck was stopped, that deputies noticed the cooking oil set up. I think there's some confusion here on what this is. This isn't you're going into Target and walking out with a 3-gallon jug of cooking oil. This is going and illegally pumping out tanks of used cooking oil into a large container in the back of this rental truck, which again, they take it and sell it for profit. At this time, when the deputies noticed that and were able to put that up to an earlier theft that occurred at a restaurant in the city of Aberdeen. There were questions yesterday about the vehicle tires being blown out. I think I kind of missed that. I think the question was, did we shoot the tires out, or was there some kind of effort by law enforcement? No, it was the erratic driving by the suspect that blew the tires out, leaving debris along the roadway as he continued to attempt to elude efforts to arrest him. As the search progressed, a suspicious person was located walking along southbound Route 24 in the area of southbound 95 in the area of Route 24, which is just a couple miles from where the chase concluded, where that's an area, I-95, where no pedestrian access is permitted. So all that's unusual. A deputy stopped, encountered that subject, began speaking with them. The individual appeared to have difficulty communicating with the deputy. The individual was taken to a local hospital for medical evaluation, and after being interviewed by detectives, it had been determined that most likely cause of his suspicious behavior was a medical emergency and unrelated to the search. So while not our suspect, had we not encountered this individual and called for emergency assistance, it's possible that his emergency medical condition could have worsened. So it was a fortuitous encounter, if you will. And he has got the medical attention that he needs. I'm happy to, Council President Vincetti has joined us. Sir, you want to come up? If you like. But in total, there were 5 in addition to Lieutenant being struck. Again, those on 95 and those before he got on the 95. No reported injuries in any of those crashes. And again, when I use the word crash, these are intentional acts by this suspect to, in an attempt to get or kill a police officer. Detectives from our CID, again under the command of Captain Andy Lane, worked diligently with our warrant apprehension unit to bring today's announcement, the announcement of an arrest. In addition, I want to offer a great deal of thanks to the Penske Truck Company, their quick cooperation, sending us the GPS locations of this truck from the time it had been rented in New York down here into Harford County and then through the pursuit was invaluable in helping us quickly identify the suspect and make this arrest. Again, I want to thank everyone for their support. I know you'll join me in keeping Lieutenant Burgess, his family, and all the men and women of all the agencies in the room here represented in your thoughts and prayers. And with that, I'm going to do my best to answer as many questions as I can.
How do you believe he got from here back to New York?
We know. He quickly escaped the vehicle. At some point in time, he made a call up to an associate in New York, a female, who drove down and picked him up at the Delaware Travel Plaza and drove him back.
Is she facing any charges?
We don't believe at this time, from everything I've heard, that she had any awareness of what his activities were. But certainly if that changes, we would charge.
Sheriff, you mentioned Lieutenant has a long road to recovery. With the family's permission, can you tell us what happened to him and how extensive is it?
I don't want to go into his specific injuries. They could, when I visited with him, he looks like he got run over by a truck. I mean, he looks bad. But he was in good spirits. They were actually working on him while I was speaking to him at the hospital last night. He has a long road of surgeries and recovery ahead of him. Internal injuries, as one might imagine. But from what I've been told by some of the video, where I said it yesterday, we are very fortunate that we are not talking about an officer fatality. This suspect did his very best to kill a police officer and just fell short.
Sheriff, you mentioned just a moment ago that thanks to Penske and GPS locations, he rented a truck in New York. Did he do it under his own name?
His name is associated with the rental. I'd have to leave that to the captain to answer. But he, the information that he gave, he's used many variations of his name, that 4-part name, in different incidents. Police have involvement with him, and here in the county, similar theft in Northern Virginia of cooking oil in his history. But he's used many variations of his name, so I don't even think we have a clear understanding of how much criminal history or involvement with police he's had to date. But his name, in some fashion, was associated with the rental of the truck.
Can you spell his name one more time?
Christy will get it to you. It's the first name is Juan, the second Yahir, third Quiroz, and the last Manzueta. I thought we had it on the screen, but we don't.
Have charges maybe not been filed yet, but what kind of charges is the individual facing? And maybe the prosecutor should talk about those charges.
I don't know if Ms. Healy's not going to comment today because she has to prosecute this case later, but he's facing first and second degree assault, second degree attempted murder, first degree assault, second degree assault on a law enforcement officer. So each one of those crashes, we will be charging with an assault, and of course the more serious charge stemming from the driving and running over Lieutenant Burgess. And I don't know if I said it, but just preliminary, it looks like Lieutenant Burgess was thrown 65 feet from our crash personnel reconstructing that part of it. Again, it's a miracle that we're standing here talking about a police officer who survived this.
When will he appear in court again?
He'll have to decide whether he wants to fight extradition back to the state. So if he doesn't fight extradition, it could be, we have investigators up there. We're going to attempt to continue the investigation, interview him and other people who might be associated with either the truck rental or the cooking oil theft. And again, this is a widely spread thing that I guess our public doesn't hear a lot about, because I've seen a lot of comments, some I don't think written with the best of character, making fun of things. There's nothing funny about this. So it'll be up to the state, to maybe, if he waives it, 24
I
hours?
can speak to that. So he'll have to decide whether he wants to waive extradition or not. If he doesn't, they'll have a hearing and we'll have to get in a governor's warrant. If he waives it, it'll be more quick. Once he's transported back here, he'll get a bail review here, and then the criminal proceedings would start.
So what jail will he remain in until then?
He's in New York, and then he'll be brought to the Harford County Detention Center once he's returned to Harford County.
Sheriff, as much as you're comfortable with, can you tell us how you put it all together?
It's amazing work by our investigators with our partners, but there was a phone in the truck that once they got that, it had been bashed. Once they got that up and operating, they were able to lead that back to some leads in New York. The rental agreement from the truck, the GPS locations from the truck, just the trail of electronics that our people do such an amazing job with. We saw it in the Morin case, and we see it in this case in less than 24 hours. I went to CID after I left the hospital last night. I went up to our CID facility, sat there with the captain and the major, and listened to them discuss the leads that they were following on this case. It's all technology, just amazing to me.
Will his picture be posted anywhere, like on social media?
I'm sorry,
His picture, will it be posted anywhere?
Christy.
We will
Oh.
post the picture and the correct spelling of his name for you on our social media.
Perfect, thank you.
And again, although I didn't mention them individually, we had the State Police, Transportation Authority Police, all three local police departments, Bel Air, Aberdeen, Havre de Grace, with us yesterday. Department of Emergency Services, I can't be thankful enough. Rick Ayers was with us yesterday for the quick response of the medical attention that our deputy received. And I didn't know it at yesterday's press conference, but Trooper 1 is apparently already in the air because of the pursuit, and that led to the more timely or expeditious response to Lieutenant Burgess in his time of need and getting him to shock trauma, which is something that Maryland is certainly